I am just madly against McDonald's. I give up on McDonald's. I poured my heart, my soul, my elbow grease into that minimum wage McJob. I truly McDid it. I extra valued it. And I am also truly McDone now. Spare me your psychotic musings about pig heart and squirrel soul being fried in the McRibs and so-called chicken McNuggets. I genuinely mean it. You are eating shoelaces. I genuinely gave my fast food career all that I had. Every fiber of my body, which is to say immediately more than you'll find in any McDonald's fiber. Clearly more than whatever it is they put inside of a Big Mac. And they make those suckers small now. You see, my friends, I am a hero, a Shakespearean hero. And my Shakespearean flaw was that I threw more burgers onto the grill than my supervisor permitted. You see, with the government shutdowns, now I have to work at McDonald's instead of being watched over in my apartment. I wasn't even written up and offered a second chance at retaining McSurfdom. No, the greasy axe of the worldwide leader, fast food greasy spoonery, fell down upon my neck. As if I was a failed Mick experiment specimen, a half human, half chicken, with its head sliced off by an illegal Mexican immigrant. And you know they don't have Taco Bells in Mexico. They don't for a reason. I have no house. I have no home. I want to live outside, or inside of a McDonald's at least. I just have my car. It's got a stylish and sexy Speedy the chef. He looks like a human hamburger who had a stroke. Good ornament, you see. I have a desire, my friends, to return home to the good old days in which my freezer was stocked with nothing but McDoubles. And I'd fantasize about playing God and making a woman out of a McRib, which is also all kinds of fucked up. I mean, none the least because that woman would be a pig or... Okay, fine. Squirrel, platypus, sea urchin. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what animals they make those delicious McRib patty sandwiches out of. I just know that they don't offer them year round. And they don't for a reason. They are made out of endangered animals. Leave me alone. So what did I do? I couldn't make rent or pay the utility bill. I couldn't even shop at Dollar Tree. I was disgruntled, disheveled, disoriented. Not even for a single dollar item. Fizzled and unkempt, like the mad professor's hair from those 1970s and 80s McDonald Land commercials. I had no wall to put up psychotic yellow mustard post-it note revenge plans and Oedipus complexes about Bertie the early bird. But my mind was racing like Speed Racer if he chopped off his monkey's tail and trail mixed it with blow and snorted it with an environmentally unfriendly plastic straw. I knew what I was going to do. In the middle of the night, I'd make out like bandits or hamburglars, but the target of my pilfery wasn't greasy cow, raccoon. Okay, fine, road-killed possum. Mixed with cockroach droppings. It was actually something far more sinister. For as you can see, I was not after edibles or something else McDonald's could so readily replace if contaminated or stolen. I was after history. Mick. History. I did it, my friends. I did it, my friends. I hopped inside of my Mick vehicle. Out here in the rural Midwest, there are lots and lots of small towns, and not so much in the way of high-tech surveillance systems and neighborhood watches. The plan was simple. Remember when I said that my McD's gig slammed an axe against my neck? Oh, I also did the same to them. Or more specifically, shall I say what I mean? Them, not any sort of violence, of course. I mean to say each and every Ronald McDonald statue. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. They were outside, sitting on the benches, unsuspectingly, I suppose, and they were by the playgrounds and toward the front of the stores, too. This was before they so called revitalized, you see. We're designing the Happy Meal looking outlets into dead looking Starbucks wannabe factory canneries. That was where I did it. I did it all. I did my McDelicious crime. Dirty deeds, done dirt cheap. I tossed off Ronald McDonald's plasticine head here. It chopped those dirty red, clearly artificially dyed locks there. And at another location, hmm, well, what did I do? I had a decapitation deed and chopped off them plastic fingers. I fantasized my mind that I was. Oh, that's going to remain unspoken. That's when it hit me. My life was over. There was no need to fantasize. I smashed open the entrance of that small town in Minnesota's one and only McDee's, I did. After I ended that location's Ronald statue's so-called life, like Jean-Baptiste Francois, fictional debut, fat very nobleman at the guillotine during the French Fry Revolution. I hope that if they did have a camera on, they loved to see me smile because I was loving it. Ronald McDonald statue fingers, shoes, or whatever the fruck he kept in his pocket. Bet it was candy. Hindsight, that freaky clown bastard definitely had to catch a predator vibes. I turned on the deep fryer and tossed them all in. Oh, I wasn't going to eat them. Oh, no, come on, get real. I was going to leave them as a memento. Even if the only consequence would be rancid oil and a lingering shit smell and flavor that they could never hope to get out with a fresh fryer installation, it would cause them enough misery. Oh, the looks on the children's faces when they would find out their most beloved mascot slash role model was brutally frickin' accident. Oh no, this was wrong. Oh no, what had I become? I never want to hurt any innocent people should they exist. How is I any better than that guy who hands out pennies and apples on Halloween or worse, takes diabetic granny off of her insulin, feeds her shamrock shakes knowing they kill her instantly? Oh man, I'd made too much of a mess and left behind far too much of a trail. The remorse and regret hit me like the foul stench of injustice or Burger King foot lettuce. It was time to turn my back and hop back into my 20,000 miles overdue red and yellow Kia and turn myself into the town police. I had placed my key into the ignition and turned, but then I heard a voice. My windows were rolled up. It was the Midwest, and it was cold, my friends. It was the mighty December. I stopped the heat and the car itself, checked the back seats, under them, even the trunk. No one was there. No corpses. But I heard a cheery voice, like someone who was smiling wide. Disturbingly wide, might I add. An embarrassment? Would you say like a grimace? You don't need to turn yourself in, Harold. You need a job. Yes. Yes. That was it. Thank you, voice of an angel. I shouted to myself, maybe. No need to thank me, Harold. You're a growing boy. Make sure you've eaten enough. I wasn't going to eat the Ronald McDonald statue of plastic. That was not going to happen, but otherwise he was so right. I hopped, skipped, and jumped away back into the small town Minnesota McDonald's, frying up burgers, fries, McFish fillets, and even a very, very moldy Arch Deluxe I could recognize somehow. I have a history of doing those experiments where you put the McDonald's burgers into, you watch them mold and say that it's like the human digestive system can't digest McDonald's, which makes no sense, but a lot of morons do that. I'm not a moron. This, however, would be the final night of my most beloved fast food career, you see. But it wasn't too late for me to finally live. I locked those doors. It was time to throw the most fantastic McDonald's slumber party that I never had as a child. I hit the floor in an obesity-inducing McComa from all the inventory that I had swallowed. There was an ear blisteringly loud rapping, tapping on the fast food establishment side door. Open up, it's the police. Ah, fuck me. Listen, I tell you that I tried to run, but I'm fat. I'm really fat. I'm like the world's fattest man. Like the next character to appear on my 576-pound life. I live off McDonald's 3 meals a day. Sometimes I invent new meals and call them Mick meals. Just eat more McDonald's. Oh my god! I am so fat. How does my heart hold all this weight? I am made out of lard. I am a big rubber ball, except I'm fat and lard. Remembering the times that I had watched the Home Alone movies, I shook those Happy Meal boxes upside down as the toys rattled out and collapsed into strewn about pieces all over the floor, as long-forgotten early 90s cartoon characters litter the eatery's walkway as if it was the world's shittiest Christmas or pieces of Kurt Cobain's brain. I crawled and slobbered my way underneath that counter, sobbing to myself in misery, knowing that there was no way the cops were going to trip over any of that crap, and if they did, it'd probably just make them far more likely to shoot me in my fat, stupid face. Come out with your hands up. An officer yelled in a gruff and threatening tone, or it was just a monotone. I can't put my hands up. I'm too fat. I barked. I mean, it was fat covering my lungs, so it was more like, I'm too fat. Whatever. There was a lot of oil and lard engulfing my lungs. That's not important right now. The glass shattered and the SWAT team stormed in as if they were raiding McDonald Land and doing unspeakable things to the women like old school Vikings, which they probably would have been making love to anthropomorphic milkshakes or chicken sandwiches, given it would have been McDonald's. Listen, that's not important. Not too long, carbinas and berettas were pointed in my face, and I belched. Too many fizzy drinks, I supposed. They captured me, drove me down to the station. They didn't even need a crane to fit me into the squad car. I spilled the beans in the interrogation room, and I spilled them even more to the judge when it was time for that. Spilled them so bad they may as well have had horrifying gas, or maybe even Montezuma's revenge. I agreed to therapy, and I even went so far as to pretend to be cured. So I may as well come clean. Clean as a McDonald's lobby floor. Okay, no. Like something actually attended to and not washed with spit. And that's not stickier than Mount Jemima syrup. Listen. They never found those dismembered Ronald McDonald plastic bodies. There's a reason for that, you see. Other than the dismembered members tossed into the fry vat and such and boiled away. I didn't tell you where I stuck the others. And I'm not telling anybody. Or at least I didn't. Until now. This, my friends and enemies, if you must, is the day and age of Bluetooth, RF, and other hopelessly invasive wireless technologies. May as well give up. George W. Bush made sure he can wiretap your phone. He still does it today. The apps on your mobile phone are constantly stealing your data and forwarding it without ever asking you for permission to do so. And if it did and you denied it, the apps would simply send it onward anyway to the McDonald's app. Kind of like when an employer says they're letting you go, but you choose not to go. You can't choose not to go. You can't. McDonald's wanted to hire George W. Bush to be their spokesperson in the late 90s, early 00s. Look it up. And although he didn't accept, he then became president of the United States. What does that tell you in a controversial, too close to call election that came down to Florida? Florida, a part of Florida where they have a whole lot of McDonald's. It's not a conspiracy, folks, when it's hidden in broad daylight. So I've been doing a lot of driving. I've been setting up a lot of access points and carefully placed Ronald McDonald statues or heads or big red shoes and similar. Rogue AP, the cybersecurity textbooks call them, you see. They're configured with the same names as the McDonald's Wi-Fi access points. And you and your phone are going to fall for them. And when they do, it's actually going to check your McDonald's app for just how loyal you are to a company that has never and will never be truly loyal to their hopelessly devoted, minimum wage, barely even high school educated employees. And let me tell you something. If, in the face of all of this truth, you choose to remain a McLoyalist, then here's what I'm going to do. All that information from the apps, I've already gathered it. 20 gigabytes, my man. 20 gigabytes of you in the nude, other than wearing a Happy Meal toy directly over your micro penis. Go and upload them to the internet and email them to all your coworkers and significant other. Not that you have one, but if you did.